Hello everyone, you're welcome to my channel. My name is Lekon and I am your host on Inside Real Estate. Today I'd like to discuss a topic that I believe is very important and very vital for those of us who intend to go into real estate, especially when you are purchasing from the families directly. Today I'm talking about how to deal with Omonile. If you like what you've been hearing from this channel, I'd like you to like and subscribe and share it with your friends as well. Now, without any further delay, let's move straight to the topic today, how to deal with Omoniles. So who are the Omoniles? They are the indigenous landowners or the sons of the soil. They have that customary authority or right over that land. Many a times it has been passed down to them from their ancestors, so they have that ancestral claim over that land. So if you look at it from a sense, everybody is an Omonile somewhere somehow because you definitely belong to a family, right? Now, how does this play in the real estate sector and what is their importance in the real estate sector? Because they own these lands, they play a significant role from the supply angle within the real estate market. So they have this land, and then from time to time, they transfer ownership by selling off parcels of land or the entire land to people who now take it. I've seen a lot of people, myself included, falling victim to one scam or the other. They buy land, and then at the end of it all, are not able to access the land. Then you hear people complain and say, Omoniles did not allow me use my land. You hear people keep complaining. You hear people lamenting, one issue or the other. We paid, we bought this, we did that, we did this, we did that. I've heard countless numbers of people. And at the end of the day, they are not able to access their investments. So that kind of has propelled me to make this video. This video is for information purposes only. You have the right to go ahead and do your due diligence. But what I do here is to equip you now. I am talking from a place of experience, and I'm speaking also from the practical angle of everything. I've worked as an estate and site manager with real estate development companies. So I've had first-hand interactions with Omoniles, the chiefs, the community. And there are things that I did when we got into issues and situations with them. There are many things I did to get my company at the time and myself out of some of those jams. So it will pay you to listen, because sometimes it's not good to learn from your own experience. It's just wise to learn from other people's experience or other people with the requisite experience that you need. Before venturing into any real estate transaction with the Omoniles, as it were, there are certain things I expect you to do. The first thing is, when somebody comes to you to introduce a land or introduce something to you, or a family or a community comes to you, the first thing you want to do is verify the origins of that family. Verify if indeed they have legitimate claim over the parcel of land they are introducing to you. You have to do it. And apart from that, also verify if this family has the capacity and resources to stand by you if any issues occur in the future. Because this thing I've seen a lot. A lot of people buy from families who don't have the wherewithal, they don't have the muscle, they don't have the resources to stand by the people they've sold those lands to. And so what happens is, when a land grabber comes, when an external opposition comes, the family is nowhere to stand for you. They are nowhere to defend you. Don't let that be your case. When they come to you and they begin to make up one story or the other about they also need the money, they are incapacitated at this time, it's a red flag. Sincerely speaking, I'm speaking from experience. It's a red flag. You want the families that are well-to-do, that are saying, we are just selling some of our assets, not that we need your money to be able to settle one court judgment or the other. In the future, you will have issues most of the times. And like I said, It may not be the case for everybody, but for me, based on experience, you will have issues. All right. So you want to do everything to verify that. So also, while investigating that family, you need to be sure that the portion of land they are selling to you is still under their control. Not that, because there are times when a family has this land, then they sell to another family who in turn sells out. You want to be sure that whoever is selling that land is selling the portion that is within their control, so that it wouldn't be a scenario of encroaching into another family's land. Yes, you might have been the family in charge. Yes, they might have been the family with the sovereign interest over that land. But since they've bequeathed some portions out, they've sold some parts out, they've transferred some parts to another family. If the family that they transferred the land to chooses to sell, it should be that they are selling only within the portion that has been transferred out, that has been given to them, and they are not selling portions that do not belong to them. So you need to investigate the family very thoroughly before going into any deal. The second thing I want you to know is that you need to listen to the concerns and pay attention to the needs of the community. I tell people, when you want to buy land, don't sit in your house. You have to do the dirty job. Yes, you have the site person. Yes, you have your professionals that you've engaged, but you have to go yourself. There are communities that will tell you they want you to patronize their local vendors. There are communities that will tell you they want you to patronize their own artisans and tradespeople, because those families want their own children to prosper. That is a concern. So if you are running a project within that kind of area, and then you say, and I know many clients, many of us can be stubborn at times, say, no, I have my person, I'm bringing him from Togo, I'm bringing this one from the north. Whoever you are bringing in, make sure they contract or subcontract those people from those communities, so that there won't be a problem. Listen to the issues. Is it a drainage issue? Is it a road issue? Is it that there is no electricity in this place? The only thing you can do for that community is to make, or at least touch, some parts of those concerns, and they will appreciate it and also support your project eventually. Let's go into the negotiation part when you are into a transaction with Omonile. How do you go about it? The first thing I want to tell you is you need to communicate very well. And I can't stress this enough. You see, the thing about communication is it is not what is said, it is what is heard. And let me give you an illustration. You want to buy 100 acres, and then you tell the family you want to first of all pay for 10. As time goes on, you will pay the rest. Now, most times what the family hears is that you are paying for 10. And so and you already have plans for 100. So while you are still settling on the 10, the family goes back and begins to sell the other portions, the other 90, because that is what has been communicated to them, and that is what they are perceiving. So it becomes a problem for you, because now you have your estate. When you are now ready to pick the other 90 up or make payment, you have your estate scattered all about. So when you are buying or when you are going into negotiations, make sure you communicate properly. If you have to use Braille, probably some of them are blind, or if you have to get an interpreter or a translator, if you do not understand the local dialect, do that. But make sure you communicate properly and everybody understands themselves. This will go a long way. Okay? So you've communicated. The next thing you need to do is be transparent and open. See, honesty goes a long way. Now, I'm not talking about the fact, because some of us feel like if I'm too honest with these people, they will take advantage of me. I'm not speaking about them. I'm speaking about you, because in the future, your honesty can save you when there's a dispute. You could stand on the ground that, hey, I never agreed to this. I never said that. Now, honesty isn't naivety. Hello? When you are honest, it doesn't mean you're naive. What it simply means is that you are being open. Let them know your limits. Let them know your capacity. This is what I can do. This is what I will not accept. If you are taking the place for agricultural purpose, let them know for agri purposes only. Not that you take the place for one purpose and then you're using it for something else. So you said it's for agric, you're using it for residential estates and you're selling it to people to buy plots of land, give the people premium plans and be letting them build their houses there. It's going to cause conflict. So be open and be honest. Okay? Now, you've done that. Pay fair compensation. You need to offer them a compensation that is fair and reasonable. You see, this in fact is one of the major causes of conflict between Omoniles and their customers. So I know many people will say, after all, we've paid. But what you paid, is it really something that is tangible, considering the economic realities we are faced with today? People say, that is none of my business. But when you really take it down to the law court, it can even be spun around if you meet a very good lawyer that you took advantage of the people's illiteracy or of the family's illiteracy, depending on the part of the community or the type of community you went to buy your property from. So I always advise people, and this is what we did then, before you pen anything to paper, discuss extensively with a financial guru or professional. Let them give you what is obtainable within that vicinity so that you'll be given what is fair. They could have sold a parcel of land to you, maybe an acre for 100,000. But today, 100,000 really doesn't count for much. So you need to properly sit down and analyze what is fair and offer it. Again, like I said, what I'm sharing with you are based on my own experience and things that I have done and recommended during my encounters with Omoniles. Okay, another thing you want to do is stagger the payments. Never pay Omoniles 100% upfront. Stagger it. You could have a payment plan, a payment structure, put dates to it. Be it payment for foundation, payment for roofing, payment for decking, be it payment for security, payment for the land itself, whatever you are paying for, make sure you don't pay them 100% upfront. I cannot stress this enough. It doesn't matter which part of Lagos or which part of Ogun State, because those were the places I operated mostly, or any part of the nation whatsoever. Stagger the payment. It will save you. In fact, it's a tactic that we use to know if that land truthfully is free of litigation or free of any form of dispute. Because if you have paid up front and you started the work, and most times what happens is people now start springing up from here and there. You have to start looking for extra money or extra funds to cover to start attending or settling those people who sprung up or those parties that sprung up. But in the event you've not fully paid and people spring up, you can, from what you have, settle those people and make a case against the family selling to you. So I never encourage anybody to pay upfront. From experience, there are places where in Festac, there are places in Aton Ota, where we paid upfront and we never, till today, had access to those lands. All right. So I want to encourage you not to fall victim, no matter the amount of pressure. The only thing I will say is, for whatever parcels you pay, be ready to take possession of that parcel of land or property. As you are paying, you are taking possession. As you are paying, you are taking possession. Because the more you take possession, the more you are securing your land for yourself. Does that make any sense? Okay, let's move on to the next one. Engage professionals. You want to deal with these people? Get professional help. Yes, I know you know one or two things now, but get professional help. These are people who are skilled in negotiating this kind of land matters. You can get a real estate agent that is conversant with that vicinity or that operates within that vicinity. You can get a legal expert as well. But engage a professional. Don't go for those meetings alone because they may know some things that you don't know. Make sure, the next thing is, make sure you document everything. You see, with these people, all right, documentation is everything. Proof, evidence is king. The day you were exchanging monies, don't just snap the picture, do a video. I can't count how many videos I have of signing of documents and pictures and so on and so forth. Let everybody smile and shine their teeth, the entire members of the family, if possible. Bring your photographer if your phone is not wide enough. It will save you tomorrow. Keep records of text messages, chats, transfer receipts, everything, receipts, every document. Keep records. Because when you get to court, you are going to produce all these things. When it gets to it, you are going to show the proof, what this person said, what this person wrote, what was signed for me, what we agreed upon, the memorandum, everything. You will produce it. So you've made payment for the property and you're trying to take possession of your property and then disputes occur, something occurs. How do you resolve that conflict? First thing you want to do is you need to seek a mediator. Now, every family has someone they respect or someone they submit to. Seek that person out, a neutral third party. It could be the community chief, it could be the surveyor, it could be the agent that brought you into the picture. Seek a third party. Seek that mediation. Let everybody lay their claim and express their grievance and then agree to come to a reasonable conclusion. That is the first thing. Sometimes these families are reasonable. It's not all families that are unreasonable. Okay? Number two, you could choose the option of going to court. Yes. Every court in the land or every court within Nigeria handles land disputes. So you can choose, depending on your capacity, to take them to court. But this is the challenge about going to court, and I must say this right now. It takes time for judgment to come out. And so these people or these families already know that. So they will keep frustrating your effort. And the more you spend time in court, the more you waste and spend resources. If you are stuck and that is the only option available to you, then you have no choice but to take it. Or if you have the capacity and resources to do it, why not? Go ahead. The third thing you want to do, all right, or another option you want to take, I said mediation, I said going to court. The other option you could look at is strong arm tactics. And that is using personnel, be it the force, be it police, military, what have you, to fight them for your asset or investment. But here is the challenge with that. If you start with that approach, you must be ready to sustain it for as long as you remain in that community. Because if you do that, and then the personnel you came with now eventually leave you, you will have them to answer to because you are stuck within that vicinity. Do you get what I'm saying? So if you want to start that approach, I will encourage you to be ready to see it through till the very end or till your very end. Okay? So, and I found out from experience too that most of the time when we use that approach, because I've had to engage some of the force personnel myself to fight them off in a site somewhere in Ikorodu, we still ended up having to go there to settle with them amicably, to still pay some money so that they just backed off. After the fights, after the tensions that arose. Okay. The next one is just find a way to seek for peaceful resolution. Now, it may be as if you are a fool for taking the high road. But at the end of the day, I think peace of mind is worth everything. If you have the resources, if it's more money they are looking for, if it's at some form of attention or some form of thing that they are looking for, and you have it in your capacity to just give them and let them go, then please go ahead and do it. Okay? So these are some of the ways we've been able to resolve conflicts or when we're in a jam. So let me give you a practical example of the peaceful mediation. So there was this land somewhere in Itori Owekoro, where in Ogun State, it's a local government in Ogun State, where the estates bought a land. And as the site manager, what we had then was uh, the family always took a portion. So there was an amount you pay per, is it acre? Yeah, per acre of development that happens on that land. So when the company sold to its customers, if the customer's development exceeds 1 acre, then you pay another money to the family, and so on and so forth. So it was the arrangement, okay? But along the line, even if the development did not get to 1 acre, the family or their reps now, mostly the youths, would come and begin to trouble that site. So it became something very nasty. But eventually, we sat down, we called them to order, we had a discussion, we had a dialogue using the third party approach, the mediator approach, and then we came to a reasonable conclusion. So it happens. I encourage you to try to see, because at the end of the day, all the systems, all the situations, all the challenges that different people face are not the same. So try to find out what works for you. Okay? So how to prevent yourself now. This may not be 100%, but it will at least to an extent save you a lot of issues. All right? So how do you prevent yourself from falling into an Omonile issue or scam or even problems with them? The first thing I encourage everybody to do is, just like you investigated the family and the legitimate claim of that family, investigate the land. Oh boy, you have to investigate the land. And so I refer you back to one of the other videos I made, which is how to buy genuine land in Nigeria. You can check my channel and look at the videos there. It explains how you can go about investigating the land. Okay, so investigate the land or even the property that was offered to you. Okay, be sure it is their land, be sure it has all the requisite paperwork and backing that it's supposed to have back, and it's as legitimate as possible. The next thing you want to do is, once you've done your investigation or you've received your land, try as much as possible to perfect your title. Do not delay, do not waste time. Perfect your title. So if the land needs to get a CFO, get the CFO. If it needs the governor's consent, get the governor's consent. Do the registered survey. Everything that needs to be done to make sure that that land becomes genuine and it's in your name. Go ahead and do it almost immediately. Do not delay, because these people, the moment they spent everything that you've given to them, you just find out that some of them go back to the site. They begin to resell to others the same place they've sold to you. So you don't want to be a victim of such. Perfect your title so that you can have a claim tomorrow to get rid of whoever is on the site. You heard of the issue or incident that happened somewhere along Ogombo Road in Ajah. Now, people were displaced of a truth, but the Omonile sold to those people that were displaced after selling to a development company. But the development company had already perfected its title. So it won the case. Do you understand what I'm trying to say now? So do not waste time. Once you buy your land or you receive your land, immediately go and perfect your title. Get all the necessary approvals, building approval, planning approval. Have everything, perfect your title, and save yourself from future heartaches and embarrassment. So while you are perfecting your title, another thing you want to look into is taking possession almost immediately. In fact, immediately. If you have to fence it around for starters, if you have to run barbed wires around, if you have to, or fencing wire around, both barb and fencing wire, depending on which one you're you are able to afford. Or if you have to start building structures on that land, do it. See, it's easier to ratify a land that has a structure on top than to ratify a bare land. Because the simple truth about the bare land is, as long as it's bare, another person can easily buy it and start work on it. But the moment you have put a structure there, even the family, the worst they can do is to ask you to give them more money or to ask for ratification. They wouldn't pull down that structure. So take possession, do something on your land. Yes, you've paid. Yes, you've started perfecting your title. It's your land, no problem. But you know what? Take possession. Do your survey. Yes, they sold you the parcel of the land, but do you know which part belongs to you? So make sure you do your survey. You cut the layout, perimeter layout of that land, and you do the survey to know exactly how the land looks, know the boundaries, know everything. Make sure your beacons are erected, are planted well, and the poles, for those who buy land in the water, logged areas, and the poles are really showing to separate your place from others. This is very important because there are times they will sell the land to you, and some portion, when you begin to walk from that portion, another family will come and chase you out of that portion and tell you this part belongs to us. But if you are able to do the survey with them there, they can come with their surveyor, you come with your surveyor, and then they chart out the places that concerns you or that has been allotted to you. Do your survey, all right, and know the boundary. How do you prevent yourself from falling into issues? Engage the services of the locals. I benefited a lot from this particular nugget. There are some of us who would rather go and bring people from our village to come and stand for us. That's fine. Or to come and work for us on site. That is good. But I find out that it's penny wise but pound foolish. So they have an artisan, they have the bricklayers, they have the carpenters. Engage them. They have a woman selling cement. They have somebody selling paint. They have the people molding blocks. Yes, I know that they make better blocks in the city, but these people are there in the suburbs. Engage their block making factory. It will save you a lot. At times, some of these artisans and traders or vendors rather seem to have more clout, and some of them are even respected in that community, and they will even defend you because the rule is simple. Where they are benefiting from, they wouldn't want anybody to mess the place up, and they won't want the work of that place to stop. So from time to time, they will fight for your interest. So let me give you an example. There is a site I once managed in Ofada, which is in Obafemi Owode local government of Ogun State. Now, there was a man there who made blocks. He makes block, and he's also a bricklayer. And we patronized him. We used his blocks. In fact, we gave him the contract to even fence parts of the estate. So this is what happened. Whenever there was someone encroaching, whenever there was an issue with the community or the people of the community, this guy will come and stand for. He will give us information that this is going on your side, and he will go there and ward them off, preserving our interest. In fact, he planted our signboard for us. Okay, so we enjoyed that grace from him because we engaged him. And you are a customer, you bought from an estate, and they are telling you, buy these people's block here, buy this, engage this carpenter. You say, no, I want to go and bring my own. Go ahead and bring your own, but make sure you advise that person you brought or that professional you brought to find a way to subcontract to them. I said this earlier and I'm saying it again. It's very important because you scratch their backs, the tendency is that they are obliged to scratch yours. I'm telling you based on practical experience. So these are some of the tips I believe can help you and guide you as you deal with Omonile. Once again, before you go into any real estate transaction, engage the services of proper professionals. Don't just go into it blindly. All these videos you see, content is just to serve as a guide to keep you informed. It is not the final thing. For every issue is peculiar. There might be other things that some of us even know that I've not even shared here. Feel free to put them in the comment section. All right? And let's discuss about it. I remain your humble host, Lekon. Thank you for your time. Bye-bye.